At what point do we stop allowing
I'm glad you're asking this.
ignorance to justify lack of achievement and acknowledgement for us?
What up, ladies and gentlemen? What's happening? Happy Friday to you all. It's a beautiful Friday, a very cold Friday in the Washington,
very cold
D.C. area. Nargis don't got to worry about that, but me and Paul got it bundled up. Is it cold in Atlanta?
28 degrees down here.
Are you serious?
That's crazy.
I'm very serious.
It's colder
there was
there
frost on my
here.
car this morning.
Damn. All right. Well, we all in the same
crazy to hear.
That is
crazy to hear.
Yeah, it's colder, literally colder than it is up here. So we're all in the cold boat. January month, birthday months, all of that. We'll get that get to that in a second. I'm Adam Butler. That's Paul Spann.
The Black Man Spann in the building.
You tuned into
the MSR Pod virtual edition.
I'm about to say, let them know.
Featuring Miss Atlanta.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Narcissist is in the building.
I am.
Yeah. So you have a birthday coming up.
We have birthdays coming up.
We have birthdays coming up. We have birthdays coming up.
Mine's the first in the queue.
That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. You actually, yours, we won't speak to you before your birthday.
Nah.
So
I don't think so. Not officially. Y'all
not officially. We'll speak to you, but not on air. We won't.
Right.
We'll be on the podcast before your birthday. So let's take this opportunity now to say happy birthday.
Hey.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Hey.
Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Y'all know what I've been thinking about?
What's that?
This month actually marks 20 years since I first came to Atlanta.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. I turned 19 in Atlanta.
Wow.
And I'll be 39 on Monday.
Wow.
Wowzers.
Yeah.
Wow. In my mind,
Atlanta's been in my life for 20 years.
That's crazy. in my head, you still like
17 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
We all like still like 18 years old.
Smooth dub in the ATL. That's berserk.
I mean, we know it's been on and off because I moved home, but just as far as like the initial moving away from home and like going to college was 20 years ago.
Do you feel like an official Atlanta citizen? Like, is Atlanta like home? I know, like you in DC, but like this is like home. She's taking a hint. She already answered, so
no.
I don't got right.
No, you want to know? But no, you want to know what's so funny? I don't know if I told y'all this. Like in my like Google Maps, home is Forestville, Maryland.
Wow.
On there. So my husband saw the joint. He was like, "Why is that home?" Because that's home.
Yeah,
that's the base.
That's that's always going to be home. Like I live here. Yeah. I've made a home for myself here.
Right.
I definitely like came of age and like it impacted a component of like my womanhood by being down here. But I in no way have affixed the identity of Atlanta to my own Atlanta, to like my own identity outside of being exposed to the culture and like, you know, frolicking amongst around the city, my husband is from here. My child is going to be from Atlanta. Yeah. So it's part of, it's like a component of my identity, but I'm not rooting for the Falcons.
You're not an ATLian.
I'm not.
But you know, the interesting thing about Atlanta is that like my wife has that same connection with Atlanta as you, right? Like she moved to Atlanta as a teenager, lived there through her 20s and moved back home. And she would always say DC was always home. We always talk about how like she and I are like 5th and 6th generation Washingtonians, and like this time in Atlanta for her is like, it's a part of her, but she a Washingtonian, right? But her mom lives in Atlanta and we're in Atlanta often to go see them. So like Atlanta and DC are like cousins. Like it's like we're like
It's
an odd thing
definitely cousins.
Yeah, because Atlanta is like the South and DC is, you know, it's not the South. DC is whatever we are. We're not quite the North or the South, to be honest with you. We just
I think right, but a lot of people
Upper
try to call
Southerners.
DC the
we're
South.
technically. I mean, technically,
You're upper
Yeah.
Southerners.
yeah,
Mhm.
but just
Yeah.
culturally, and but it's just interesting that like it's just like two chocolate cities, and we bond. And how many people I know that either lived in Atlanta for some time or moved from here to Atlanta, and that tether is so interesting. And to your second point about like it not being home, but you made a home there, you have a family there, right? I think about people like Shakes and Tia who are New Yorkers, right? But long as I known both of them for like Tia, we known Tia from PG, we've known her for over 20 years.
Yeah.
She still talk with a Brooklyn accent. She's still like, I'm Brooklyn. Isha is a New Yorker, and I've never known her. Like, it's interesting how you never let that go, even though you could be at a place for like more than half your life.
Right.
Still be like, but I'm a New Yorker at the end of the day. Well, I'm from DC at the end of the day, even though I've been in Atlanta for 20 years. It's really, but that's cool, man.
Y'all see my text every now and then. I'm sorry. I'll just be like, I need something DC just to like let the people know.
Yeah. To ground yourself.
I need some New Balance. I need a North Face. That's why I got Wale shoes.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Like,
and you got the DC
folks just need to know.
too.
So they know.
Folks just need to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, real fast before we get started with the topics of the day, what you got planned for your birthday?
I am doing very like minimal stuff, right? So I got skating on Sunday. Gonna get my nails done today.
Let's go.
I'm not doing anything on like my birthday. I just want to be left alone. I have a massage lined up. I have a pedicure lined up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because I'm getting older, I scheduled an appointment with a dietitian.
Let's go. Your little nothing sounds like a nice movie or something.
It's just like it's literally just appointments.
Yeah.
But it's literally just appointments.
What's so funny? And the difference between men and women, like our nothing really consists of nothing.
Nothing. Nothing. My wife asked me this morning, what she said, did you decide you want to do for your birthday? I was like, nothing.
Nothing. Right.
I'm not doing anything.
Your nothing consisted of actual things.
Yeah, that's funny.
Like our nothing consists of
it's things I've been meaning to do anyway, and I'm just using my birthday as the opportunity to kick it off. Right. My nails need to be done. A pedicure needs to happen. My back spasmed yesterday for no reason. And I called my husband in tears like, I can't move. And I got our kid. So I'm going to get a massage, right?
Yeah.
I like to eat what I like to eat. And my body's getting older. So I need to, my insurance is paying for a dietitian.
100.
I'm going to talk to a dietitian and I'm going to see what I need to do to, get that under control. So it's literally like a maintenance to-do list that I'm just using the launching of my birthday.
Your birthday time.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes, there you go, grown woman. There you go.
Listen, well, happy birthday, Nargis.
Thank you.
100%.
Love you. We're so happy that you joined us on this new MSR journey. We couldn't do it without you. And
most definitely.
Real talk, man. Here's to another
year.
Year.
To another year. All right. This is my last. I'm gonna be in my 40s next year, so I'm going out in my 30s with a bang.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
the 40s are fun.
I'm ready.
They're fun.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
You real grown. You probably grew up. Finally, you grown up then. Finally.
30 years later, I'm a grown up. Y'all finally see me as an adult.
Finally view you as an adult. Yeah, man. Tell Nargis happy birthday down in the comment section. Show us some love. All right. We're gonna get ready to get that. Before that, if you want to follow the show, follow us on all social. MSR Tribe on Instagram, Mindstream Radio on Facebook, the MSR Pod on TikTok. If you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. We love that. The algorithm needs it. If you listen to us on podcast platforms, go ahead and rate and review the show and subscribe to the show. Share the show, comment, let people know you're listening. And thank you for all of the love that we've been getting so far. We got a lot to get into it. So let's talk about one battle after another. Nargis' favorite movie after this.
Loves it.
All right, so the Golden Globes happened this past Sunday. We talked about them a little bit on our Wednesday show. But one thing we wanted to say, because y'all, for real, like, Nargis loves One Battle After Another. Like, she texts me, right? She texts me.
Just to
like,
let you know.
Just let you know, she
You
texts
got
me.
to watch this movie.
Yo, there's this movie called One Battle After Another. Man, you got to watch this shit. Shit is innovative, bro. Shit is groundbreaking, bro. It's groundbreaking, man. You ain't never seen portrayals of black folk like this ever.
Right.
And I said, oh, you know,
watch it.
Watch it. I've seen it 9 times, she said. I'm going to watch it. What she didn't tell you, I don't know why she left this out. I mean, that she's definitely going to spend her actual birthday binging the movie.
Right. That's one thing that she left out.
Oh, watch that in the group chat. I don't know. I ain't gonna put her out there. She said she's gonna watch. She loves this movie. No, seriously. One Battle After Another did very well at the Golden Globes. And it feels like it's gonna do very well at the Oscars, which are coming up in a few weeks. And people are upset by this because, especially black people, because many people feel that Ryan Coogler's Sinners should be recognized as the best film of the year by all of the award bodies. Okay, so we're going to talk about the movie a little bit. Nargis and I, because Paul didn't do his homework, he didn't watch the movie. So Nargis and I are going to talk about the movie a little bit, and then we're going to talk about, should it win over a film like Sinners, and if it shouldn't, why? Okay, so from the biggest fan of the film, Nargis, let's hear your review of One Battle After Another.
Oh, man. So, in context, Adam is being a jerk right now because the amount of text messages that I sent Adam as I was like forcing myself to watch this movie, like 5 minutes in, I'm like, bruh, this happened. He like, oh, you're not gonna make it.
Yeah, right.
You're not gonna make it. And at a certain point, he was like, okay, I think you good enough to turn, but you don't have to finish it.
We can talk about it at least, yeah.
Okay. So I saw the trailer and I was like, bet Leo?
Yeah.
My man, I love this version of Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, this era of Leonardo DiCaprio, I think is like my favorite Leo era. Because he is so anti, like, heartthrob Titanic Leo now. He's like, I am picking and choosing what the hell I want to do. And I'm doing it. Like,
and he's old and fat and a lot of them.
But it's great. It's great. He's like, I probably stink a little bit. You know what I mean? He's just like, I don't care. Because guess who I am?
Yeah.
And y'all still gonna run to the box office because that's what I can do. But that's an aside. So I'm like, bet we got the old, we got the new, Tiana Taylor, Sean Penn. Like, this is a stacked cast, right? Wood Harris was in, Regina Hall. Like, let's do the thing. I think I heard the term black girl 75,000 times within the first 10 minutes. Oh, I love black girls. You love black girls? Yes, let's love black girls. Yeah. And it just made...
I love them. Yeah.
I love them. Like, ew. And so... larger context, and I know I'm going all over the place because I am disappointed that this movie did as well as it did, because I just feel like it needed so much polishing. I do not understand what I was supposed to walk away from that movie thinking.
Yeah.
Or like, what is the takeaway? Yeah. Right? I don't understand. You have Sean Penn, who is like basically a modern day Klansman that likes black vagina.
Right.
And Tiana Taylor's character is like a horrible person. You're sleeping with multiple white penises. You get impregnated by one of those white penises. You end up snitching on your folks that you out here viva la revolucioning, right? You're out of the film for after like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you have the audacity to write your child a letter and say, kiss your dad.
Right. Right.
That's not her dad.
Right. Yeah.
So she's the villain, right? She's the villain. Sean Penn is the villain. I kind of saw where they were going. Like, yes, revolution, like people who were in the revolution, like I only have like Black Panther and like civil rights to go off of, right? So when you hear like these lived experiences of the people who were in it, it's like a lot of the times it wasn't no like plan, right? We literally just winging it. We trying to get the message across. We trying to do the thing. I think they did it. I forgot Benicio del Toro was in that joint. Shout out. He was the best character out of that whole movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what you wanted me to walk away from this.
Yeah.
Believing. I also have heard conversation around like how Paul Thomas Anderson is married to Maya Rudolph.
Yes.
And how his lived experience, Maya Rudolph, Minnie Riperton's daughter, she's biracial,
right.
blah, blah, blah.
Right. They have a biracial kid, I believe.
They have I'm sure. Are they even considered, but they have a quadracial kid? Because like, what is that?
Yeah.
If you got like, is the kid Black?
What is that? I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
what do we call that?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. What do we call that? Like, that's not, I don't know what the slave papers would identify that as. A quadroon?
Black.
Black. Yeah. But definitely potentially past. I don't know. I don't want to minimize their child. That's disrespectful. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, you have a Black kid, but do you?
Yeah. Right.
Do you have you have a child who can claim Black ancestry, but doesn't necessarily have the lived experience of being a Black person in this country?
Right.
Which is a significant distinction, I think. So I've heard narrative around how he may have tried to like insert some of his own lived experience in this film. Yeah. And I just do not know where the creative control came. Yeah. It was offensively heavy-handed with some of the dialogue, the word choice. And I know they're like, yeah, we're trying to celebrate jungle pussy. This pussy don't pop. Yeah. It was a way to da-da-da. Yes, I do not think are the appropriate messenger of this. And then I've heard conversation about how Tiana is basically like the new Halle Berry for Monster Ball.
Yeah. And
you're only getting this award because you basically bounced onto white dicks and dipped.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
I was so disappointed because I had such high hopes.
I must watch this movie.
And I don't know what the actors saw. Like, help me understand the lens I was supposed to view this through.
Right.
Because the heroes in this movie are the Mexicans. In my book. And if that was supposed to be my takeaway, then that's what it was, because I'm good on everybody else.
So the movie, I didn't hate it as much as Nargis.
Ugh.
But I didn't love it. Okay. I didn't hate it though. I watched it, and I watched it after all of the critique had already been out there. Me and Jim watched it maybe a month ago when it first hit HBO Max, right? So I was able to watch it with like a bit of a clearer lens of like, okay, this is what people think. And I'm kind of like, let me try not to blah, 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 blah.
You're trying to check that. Right.
Right. But Nargis' points are accurate. And they aren't the whole movie, but they overshadow everything in the movie so much that it's kind of hard to point out that this is a father-daughter movie. First off, this movie is based on the book. I have not read the book, but what I understand about the book is that what's Tiana Taylor's character's name? Do you remember?
Perfidia, which means like treachery.
Yeah, but in the book, she's a white woman. In the book, so the Black angle is not in the book at all. Okay, the Black angle is something that PTA and his writers decided.
So they took liberties with that, is what you're saying. Okay.
Yes, they would. From what I understand, I've not read the book. Okay, but
Mhm.
all the reviews I watch about it, all the other pods I watch, they all mention the book and how that character and these characters, there isn't like this black thing in it, right? And so it overshadows the film so much. Yes, having a seductive kind of like this woman that is kind of like the temptation between these two men who are polar opposites. um Sean Penn's character being a complete fascist, right? Basically an ICE agent running
Mhm.
around. But the irony of him is that he loves black women, but he can't tell anybody he loves black women. So much so that he wants to join the secret organization called, like, they call it like the Christmas organization, something like that. They basically like the
Mhm.
League of White Men who run the world, and they're super racist, and they
Yeah.
tried to
White
kill him because
purists.
they're purists, and they tried to kill him because they found out that he had a black daughter. That's how racist, but how much of a hypocrite that he is. That he's, he loved the black women, right? But he can't let anybody know. And then there's Leo, who is the classic liberal white guy to the T. The classic, he's got a ponytail, he's
Mhm.
disheveled, he's like
He's
the most
high.
high, smoking weed, he got this mixed daughter, he's the classic liberal, and they're all kind of surrounded by these black people and these revolutionaries, these black and brown revolutionaries. Okay, that's where Wood Harris comes in, Regina Hall, all these characters are side characters. Okay, it's the basics of the story. Essentially, a father-daughter story about this man who loves this little girl and finds out that he's not even the little girl's father for real. Spoilers for anybody that haven't seen this movie. Finds out that he isn't really even this girl's daughter, but yet he's still willing to go to war for her and save her life, and she ends up living her life and becoming a revolutionary at the end. She follows in her mother's footsteps, but we have to assume in the best ways as opposed to the ways her mother failed. Okay. There's a good story in there. And PTA, just for Paul Thomas Anderson, for anyone that's listening, is 100% one of my favorite directors. He made one of my favorite films. My wife makes fun of me for watching And Then There Will Be Blood. We always want to watch, whenever we try to figure out what movie we're going to watch, right? There's like
Mhm.
two uh ends of this other spectrum that we know we're going too far, right? For me, it's like I don't want to watch Sex and the City, the movie. First, like, well, I don't want to watch And Then There Will Be Blood, right? Just basically like this in between Then There Will Be Blood and like,
Right.
name that rom-com, right? And so I love PTA, like, Boogie Nights, Then It Will Blink. It's just so many great movies that he's done. Um, this to me is not one of them, but I don't have the fury for it that our dear sister has, but I understand it. Okay. And so from there, now that we've gotten Nargis's review, and Paul, this is where you could jump in the conversation because you did not watch the movie. So you couldn't. We get to the Golden Globes and award season, and we're seeing a
Mhm.
lot of black people's worst nightmare in terms of entertainment, which is this movie that moved the culture. We spent our whole top 2025 moments, we spent the whole segment, me, you, and Smooth, just just gushing over Sinners, how great it is, how much and for black people that saw Sinners, is just like it was I felt Sinners like in my heart. Like that
Yep.
last scene in Sinners, when the
Come
music
on.
hits, Michael B says his
Come on.
last line, right? Just when we were all alive, right? And it moved me. Like the music moves because it speaks to
Mhm.
our culture. A lot of black people are devastated, as much as they can be, over the Golden Globes and the Oscars, right? That this film that and another piece of context really quickly, I don't mean to just ramble, I just want to give all the information. Sinners came out, I think, in like April or May of 2025. One battle after another came out like in September. So it's newer.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm trying to say? We've had longer to sit with Sinners and debate Sinners and talk about how great it is. And then this movie comes from nowhere. And also Timothy Chalamet comes from nowhere with Marty Supreme. And now not only is Sinners knocked out of it, Michael B. Jordan is knocked out of it because Timothy Chalamet comes around and does his movie, and now he's winning all of the awards for Best Actor. When there were many people, I know Narcs don't really rock with Michael B. Evil, but there were many people who believed that Sinners was going to sweep it all because that was the best movie they saw. Okay, P. From that description of One Battle Love it. Can you understand why Black people are feeling a way about sinners being knocked off by this film, by one battle after another?
I can definitely understand it. And I again, I hate speaking from a place of not seeing both films, but
Homework, nigga.
speaking specifically on the subject matter of what we're talking about, like obviously I can see that, right? When you take like at this point, Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler would almost be considered kind of like a team, right?
Yes.
I mean, and I think that you know what I'm saying, like
Been in every
the
one of
things that they do. Say it
Yeah.
again.
He's been in every Ryan Coogler movie.
Period.
Every.
And I think
Yeah.
that they move with purposeful intent, right? I think that
Mhm.
they take on projects purposefully speaking to a certain sector and telling stories of that sector purposefully because they see the landscape of America and they know how, I mean, aside from just being filmmakers and being actors and all that, they do know how important their voice is and they know how important imagery is, right?
Mhm.
So I think over the past few years, when you think about their first film together from Fruitvale Station up into Sinners, there's always been a point for their community and expanding understanding, right? And I say that their lens is mostly Black,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
but they do a great job of delivering a overall message that can cross over, that is just not like I think their messaging speaks to Black people in a different way, but all people can watch their films, right? So I can see both Black people's problem with the film and how certain things are being portrayed and how other actors and directors are being vaulted above this element of messaging, even though the film and from what I hear from both you guys is lackluster in comparison to this other film that really hits all the notes and really delivers itself a lot better. So I can definitely understand people's problem. Like I said, not speaking from the full knowledge of seeing both films and giving the complete element of fairness, but speaking on what we're speaking on, I can definitely understand that.
I think the movie, and Ari, tell me what you think about this. I think the movie is, to use a word I don't like, problematic because, and reason why people are thinking this comes up often in award seasons. Whenever there's a big Black film and it doesn't win the awards that we feel it should win, the same conversation comes up every time, right? And then you have to look at the films that are considered Black that do win, right? And the films that are considered Black that do
They have a
win,
pattern.
they have a pattern, and the pattern is usually tragedy, is usually tragic, right? Even down to a movie like Moonlight, like that I love. I love that film, right? But essentially,
hmm
this is a film that, for like better terms, white people can kind of look at and relate to, right? The film is about a gay young man who's being bullied, but is surrounded by him being in the hood, and the hood is bullying him. And it ends
hmm
with him turning into the thing that the person that helped raise him was just like another goon on the street, a closeted goon in Atlanta. And white people seen boys in the hood. They've heard about the hood. They can make sense of that, right?
hmm
I think they feel like this movie by Paul Thomas Anderson, who has kind of a stereotype of every ethnic group within these revolutions, right? Not horrible ones like Tiana Taylor's character, right? But most of them is like the Mexicans are clearly Mexicans, right? They're like all running away from ICE, they all hidden up in, it's like white people can see that and recognize that. The Black people are militant. The white guys are militant. It's like it's acceptable through the lens of white people.
Right.
Sinners, I think people were able to look at Sinners and recognize that it was a great movie. But when it comes to what do I relate to more from a
hmm
white lens, Sinners is hard to understand. We talked about Black Panther in our 2025 episode, right? And we talked about that scene in Black Panther that really only Black people understood, which was the opening scene of Black Panther, right? With the Too Short playing. They in Oakland, the young boys playing ball, the Public Enemy poster on the wall, the speech that Sterling K. Brown gives, right, about there are people here and they're suffering, that African American, like those diaspora wars things. These are things that black people. If you talk to the average white person on the street and ask them about Black Panther, they're going to bring up none of that. They understand that they're bigging up an African country. They understand that it could be important to black people, but they don't get the American. They don't understand Killmonger.
Right.
They don't understand Killmonger, right?
Right. And what he represents.
Right. Nargis, I don't think white people really understood Smoke and Stack. I don't think they really understood what the vampire really represented. I don't think they understood that music scene, the scene when they go through all the history of music.
Yes.
Beautiful.
I don't think they understand even the speech at the end, the way black people, so it's not easy to digest to them. At the end of the day, it's a horror vampire movie versus this deep movie that PTA made. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I think the disconnect comes from.
So this is my ignorance to how this whole Golden Globe Oscar stuff even happens, right?
Sure.
They got nominated though. So
Sinners you talking
to
about.
a degree, to a certain point, that these are significant things. They had 7 nominations.
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler did not win Best Director
Or screenplay.
or screenplay, or they were nominated for original score, Best original song.
Yeah.
Right? Which is like the crux. They won for cinematic box office achievement.
Yes. And they won for score. Ludwig won for score.
Okay.
That wasn't televised, but your point still remains, because they won score and song are different.
Okay.
Score, as you all know, is the sound of the movie, the music that just kind of plays in the movie.
In the background.
Song, right? Song is my man's song, but he did lose. In fairness, he did lose to K-pop Demon Hunters, which is like, the kids, man. They go to that's
It's a really great movie.
Yeah, yes. I just
Golden is on the radio. It's a really great movie.
Yeah.
So my thing is like, okay, at what point do we stop allowing
I'm glad you're asking this.
Ignorance to justify lack of achievement and acknowledgement for us?
That's such a great. I have an answer, but I want you to please continue, because it's such a great.
I think there's a period of, like, we are in the year of our Lord, 2026.
Your 39th year on Earth.
We can 39th year on my Earth. We can take race completely out of this conversation.
Yeah.
And literally, I didn't know that One Bad After Another was based after a book. So we can take on sheer box office impact, originality. This was something that came out of your head, that you wrote and directed. Original song, dope lineup, dope cast. Again, just resume, taking race out of it. What you had to do as a director to bring that film to life, in comparison to what it took to get One Battle After the Other made.
Right.
And the originality or the creative liberties that were brought to the table with that film. I do not understand the argument there, other than the fact that there is, what's the word? There is a controversial obsession in my mind that I think celebrates the objectification of Black women by other races. Because it wasn't just Sean Penn, right? Like, even, like, not saying Leo didn't, like, love her, but it was definitely like, you in the middle of a battle, bro, and you grabbing her butt. That's not normal.
Extremely hot Black woman.
That's not normal.
Yeah.
That's not normal. I'm not thinking about your ass in the middle of the.
As well. Just not to
But
cut
this,
you off. Yeah. Just want to
no,
add
she
that.
does.
Yeah,
She absolutely does. But I'm not thinking about, Grant, I'm not a white man, but
Right.
we're in the middle of gunfire.
Yeah.
I'm not going to reach out and grab your ass in victory.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
it's, you see what I'm saying?
I do.
That's not, that does not make sense.
Yeah.
All the
Yeah.
political prisoners that I've talked to have said nothing about
Yeah.
being overwhelmed by this sexual
Yeah.
impulse in the
Right.
middle of a getaway. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
These are actions that I do not think, these are liberties that would not have been taken if Tiana Taylor was a white girl.
Mm.
I just don't think, not in
No,
Paul
I'm
Thomas
you know,
Anderson's head. I'm not in Paul Thomas Anderson's head. I do
Yeah.
not know. I don't
Yeah,
know
no.
what his real intentions are, but I
Right.
truly feel like you ran with that angle because you had a beautiful Black woman
Right.
who did a great job, right?
Mhm.
Like I did not like her character. She did a great job.
Mhm.
I don't want to
Right.
minimize the acting skill that it took for her to have the performance that she has.
Right.
I'm just beefing with the script
I got you.
and the story.
I got you.
From what,
But
let me ask you guys, because what I'm gathering from, but like I said, as myself and maybe a legions of listeners who haven't had the ability to consume both films as of yet, what
pause,
I'm
pause,
gathering
pause,
is
pause, 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 pause. That was such a funny way to frame that sentence. I'm
The
so sorry.
legions.
You haven't had
you know what I'm saying?
film. So all the niggas that haven't seen this movie.
Right.
For
What I-
those
what-
of us
what
who
I'm
haven't
gathering
chosen
is,
to waste
does it
2 hours of
Yeah.
their lives.
Oh, the
but
leads.
does it seem to both of you all that this is both classic Hollywood and classic America, whereas you can
Yeah.
have a person whose film goes above and beyond and really does revolutionize things, really does speak to a certain thing, and then you can have something that's less dynamic come along and usurp it in praise and what they want the understanding to be, and all of those things. Like, is that what like, it's partially what I'm gathering from what you guys are saying?
Yes. Yes.
Am I
Go
off
I
ahead,
on
Doc.
that?
think
Yeah.
I think that as much as dope as Ryan Coogler is, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could have been any heavy hitting. It could have been a Scorsese film. It could have been a Spielberg film. It could have been anybody other than Ryan Coogler film that dropped in September that would have knocked Sinners out, regardless.
Yes. That's
It
why I
just
brought up
happened to
Marty.
be Paul Thomas Anderson's. But I think if you have any of these
Oscar bait movie.
cherished
Yeah.
white male directors,
Or actors.
any one of them could have dropped a movie late in the game and beat Sinners. It just happened to be this one.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. That's why I brought up Marty Supreme, right? I actually was going to throw Timothy Chalamet in this conversation, but I didn't, because I am a slight annoyed by the debate between Timothy and Michael B. But I chose not to participate in it because I understand where it's coming from. And sometimes we understand where something's coming from. You don't need to be a but actually person, because that's when you get kind of annoying. Like, I get the sentiment of the argument, even though I think and know that Timothy Chalamet, frankly, he's just one of them ones. Like, he's just, every now and then, every generation, you get one of them actors. It's just like, you get the Tom Hanks of this generation, the Paul, the Denzel, the guy that's just great. And Timothy just is, and he's an annoying little New Yorker white guy who gets on people's nerves, but he is a phenomenal actor, and Michael B is a good actor. Okay. And so that was never going to happen for Michael B. To Nargis's point. This isn't Nargis's point, but just to another point, these things, yes, it didn't take much for Timothy Chalamet to knock Michael B. Jordan out of the lead of Best Male Actor. He could have given half of the performance that he gave in
Right.
Marty. It just happens he gave a great performance, but he could have just showed up and it would have knocked Michael B out. Yes, One Battle After Another showed up in award season and knocked, and so did Hamlet, and so did Hamnet, excuse me, and so did some of these other films that you're starting to hear about that no one sees. That's my other
Right.
issue that I want to talk about when we
Right.
have Kim on in February to talk about the Oscars. That's another thing I want to talk about. Like, we don't even really award the movies that people actually like. We kind of award these movies, and I love film. I've made films, but we award these movies that are kind of like auteur. No one cares about them really, right?
Aurora.
Yeah, movies, and it's kind of snobby, it's snobbish, but to your actual question, Pete, yeah. And I jumped the gun and made an jumped to a conclusion when Nargis was starting to give a response because I thought she was going to ask that classic question of when are we going to stop caring about award season, right?
Yeah.
She ended up making a much deeper, better point, but I had an answer to why we should care about award season. Because this is how movies get funded, and if we want more Sinners and Black Panthers and Moonlights and name that Black film, right, they do have to get nominated. There was a filmmaker that I follow, and they made the point about, like, they made a small film and they were trying to get it funded, and they couldn't get it funded until it got nominated for an Oscar. There was a short film until it got nominated for an Oscar, and then all of a sudden they were able to get a bunch of funding and they got a national release, and they ended up winning the Oscar, right? So no matter what, we are participating in this American system and in American industries, right? And it's not just about being able to hold up. Look, the Oscar don't mean a lot in itself, right? There are actors that have won Oscars that people don't even remember anymore. There are actors that won Oscars that you see on soap operas now, real shit, like that are doing Tubi movies. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but you could fall the Oscar itself, the statue, people forget about it 10 years later. But the resume builder, especially for Black people that's trying to get their films on a larger scale so we can tell larger stories, right? So Ryan Coogler can get the deal that he got, what we talked about on the last, in the 2025, right? Where he's going to get all the rights to that film in a couple of years. He made this a historic deal. He doesn't get the deal if Black Panther didn't have the success that it had and Creed didn't have the success that it had, right? It's just the truth. Okay, so I know we like to beat our chest. We're like, but you want a Soul Train Award, man? Okay, we can work on getting the Soul Train Awards and the NAACP awards to that where not that white people care about it, but people are willing to go, you want an NAACP award, so you're legit, let me fund your film. But we aren't there yet. You need to be able to compete. And that goes for every race of people. Black people aren't the only ones. Asian films are trying to do it. Bollywood films are trying to do it. There's a bunch of other people outside of white folks that's just saying, like, yo, if we could just get that recognition, then my film and this industry could get funded. So when a foreign language film wins an Oscar, that's why it's always a big deal, because that means there's a whole industry of filmmakers, right, that are going to get an opportunity to get to the bag and enhance that industry, not appease to white people, but enhance Bollywood. And Bollywood makes a lot of money, but I think you all follow me. What they call African films, there's a name for it. Nollywood films, right? You know what I mean? Black films, this Black storytellers, right? Again, Ryan Coogler, Issa Rae getting that first look deal with HBO all them years ago. She made 4 or 5 shows off of that, fed people ate off of that. Robin Thede now has opportunities to do other stuff because of that. Quinta Brunson was on that show. I did not even like Black Lady Sketch Show, but from that you get Quinta Brunson and Robin Thede, right? From Insecure, you get Lawrence is now a Hollywood A-list actor. You get what I'm trying to go, where I'm going with this. So, that's not the point she was making. I thought she was making that point, but I still want to address that because some people could be sitting back and wondering, why should I even care about this? And you don't have to care about this, but it is important to Ryan Coogler and, hey, his assistant DP, his assistant director that may want to spin off his own thing. And maybe they need Sinners to really kick ass, because now Ryan has a overall production deal. Maybe they get to do the next Marvel movie. Maybe we want to do a M'Baku spinoff movie, and one of Ryan Coogler's assistant directors or apprentices is going to show run that. You just never know. So we always got to root for Black people to win these things, even though it doesn't make sense in our mind logically. It just doesn't make sense. There's a reason why. It may not make sense to you, but there's a reason. Any closing thoughts on this before we move on?
Nah, I mean, I think ultimately it's just dope to see creatives be acknowledged. You know, I think a lot. I think all of them. I say that for regardless of race. You know, I don't think any of them are doing it for the recognition. It's more of like the award is a resource for them to continue to do the thing that they love doing, but they're not doing what they want to do to get the award. So it's like, shout out to all of the creatives, you know, who were nominated, who weren't nominated, but still did, you know, amazing creative things last year.
I think it's a nod to work while we're still within obviously both a flawed system that you work in, you know what I mean, be it the entertainment industry, and be it if we were to allow it to represent just where we live, period, the country and the world. You know what I mean? So all of those creatives that, like Nargis already said, keep doing your thing, keep bringing authentic stories to the light, whether it gets the recognition that it needs to get as of right now. Don't let that stop you from being who you are, and we'll just continue hoping that the strides that we make help change things in the future.
There it is. All right, let's talk about some hip hop on the other side of the break. All right, so shouts to J.Cole. J.Cole is dropping The Fall Off. We've been hearing about this album for some time. Very excited that J.Cole is about to drop. I think it's dropping in February. 2 Sticks, which apparently has some symbolism behind it. Somebody online was explaining it. J.Cole's another one of them artists that, like, you got to delve deeper into everything.
He leaves the Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Fun. Which is fun. I'm hearing tell that this is going to be a huge year for hip hop. In art, if you know, there's a lot of artists are going to be dropping this year. We're going to talk about another one in a second. You know who is dropping at some point. A lot of his fans are excited about that, and they should be. A lot of people have heard of dropping this year, but right now let's talk about J. Cole. P, I'll start with you, man. What's your overall and what's your thoughts of the J. Cole album announcement? And have you heard the track that he released?
Yes, and I saw the visual for the track, which is absolutely incredible. First off, let me say this, Cabby. I love J. Cole. Every concert that he's ever done that's been in the DMV area, I've been at. Like every single one of them, I've been there. Like that is my man, 100 grand. I'm excited about this work because I am a fan. But something that you were talking about, it's like so many people, like he's such a dynamic artist. And for me personally, I love having to sit back and go, all right, hold on, let me take a listen to that. Let me look at that. Let me figure that out. Like that. I love doing that. Some people, like nowadays, they love the simplicity of things. They don't want to have an overt amount to think about. I think that's kind of differentiates between like Kendrick fans and like other things. Like I like we've heard this. We've into these conversations, we be like, man, don't nobody want all that thinky nonsense. Like we just wanna come and party and you know and bounce around and not think about anything. I'm not one of those. So I am eagerly looking forward to all that this album has to offer. And I respect J. Cole from so many different levels, from production to all the care that he puts in it. Like bro, like sits and like listens to his albums through a car speaker. He listens to his albums through people's living rooms. He like does all these things. So all the care that's put behind it, I respect it, and I'm eagerly looking forward to this album.
Nargis, before you go, I forgot to mention that this is supposed to be his last album. It's supposed to be the swan song for Cole.
Is it really? Is that's what's being touted?
That's what he says.
I doubt that. I think that's what a lot of cats do to make, you know, to up the score.
Yeah. Go for it, Nargis.
I mean, J. Cole is always an exciting. J. Cole's perspective, or just getting a glimpse into what's going on in his world and like what he's kind of prioritizing in song is always exciting to hear. You know, I haven't been to every concert, but I did. I took my nephew to that Forest Hills joint, and it was great. You know, I've always been a J. Cole fan, so any new pot of music that I can listen to from a voice that I enjoy is always exciting, right? Same with, you know, Wale's album when it came out. And that because, you know, he's one of those artists that, not to minimize other artists, but you know there is so much intention put into the music, the lyric, the order, the names of the song, like all of that, right? He's very much a craftsman in what he creates and what he puts out. And just given what has taken place, like in the world, in hip hop, I'm excited to see what he does and doesn't talk about.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's something I wanted to touch on. You know, I've gotten to the point where I have to censor names on this show, you know, because people are like, this thing hard, you know, but obviously coming off of one funny little quick little nugget real quick. Paul loved J. Cole so much so that when the battle for in the very early stages of the battle and Cole was involved, my man Paul, God bless him, was genuinely sad.
I was.
I was all like, yo, they about to battle. He like, no,
what
no,
it happened, yeah.
I want to see Cole do, you know what I'm saying?
I love them both, yeah. I love them. Don't do it, Cole.
I was like, damn, Cole. Yeah, but I understand that. But no, I love J. Cole.
No, I just hurt my heart.
It did.
But look, I remember I was messaging Adam about that because the fact that a beef amongst good rappers was happening.
Yeah.
You could just feel the excitement amongst the population. And then it was like, J. Cole was like,
I'm good.
Much love, y'all.
Yeah. And I never believed him. And
much
even
love. Y'all be blessed, beloved, over there.
And even for real, and even when he dropped his song, you could tell he didn't believe what he was saying. So I was actually one of the few people that, and I think we all agreed, was happy he dropped out of it and actually was like, that's
took
cool.
accountability and was like, I let my ego do something that I ain't even proud of. Much love to both of y'all. We gonna see how this falls.
Yeah, and it
respect.
Exactly. It went exactly how he thought it would go, and that's why he got it. So no one told him, man, boy, you don't want to be
I
up
see the writing on the wall.
Yeah. You don't want to get up in the middle of this.
I don't want to hear no song called "Meet Jermaine's Family."
Yeah, okay, right, okay, right.
Meet the Coles.
I need to protect my white mother.
For real. I mean, it was going to get bad. Even though I don't think, I'll be honest with you, and I'm not going to talk about the beef too long, I do, because it's about Cole.
Yeah.
And it's us tied into my larger point. I don't think that was ever going to go there with him. I think they were going to battle and have some fun. And I think the point was always, as he said in Not Like Us, like, you getting used, Slim, like you letting this Bama use you. So if you want to play, then you gonna be with him, then we can battle. But nonetheless, reason why I even bring any of that up, well, to make fun of Paul is why I brought it up. But beyond that,
100. Because I had a little tear right here.
He was sad, but beyond that, the battle did hurt him. The battle hurt him. The perception and the bravado of hip hop, not standing tall, some of the kind of like rockhead shit that is just involved in hip hop, him backing down hurt him for a while. The 2 tracks he came out with in between that, one with the one was actually very stupid. He was talking about something about it was a dumb song. People just made fun of the song. And then there was another one when he kind of came out talking kind of greasy and kind of being like, if I would have battled, and people were like, man, shut the fuck up, bro, but you didn't battle, right?
Yeah, because you didn't.
So I'm curious.
Because you don't.
Yeah, like, because that was a totally bad idea by him. Like, I don't nobody want to hear about what if you would have got in it, here's what would have happened. No, you did not get in it. So I am curious to hear what he talks about on his album. He kind of even addresses it on his track. Not really, but like he addresses just like some of the stuff. But I'm curious if he'll talk greasy on it. I'm the best type talk. Or will this be like a super introspective album like Forest Hills, right? I expect it to be more Forest Hills than I'm the best, I'm Cole, blah, 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 blah. And I'm looking forward to that. And I think that all things in hip hop kind of revolve around what happened in 2024. I think that's when all this was going on. Yeah, 2024, right?
Yeah.
And it's just what it is because, again, as funny as it is, and Paul always asks me when I bring up the battle, but it's the two of the three biggest rappers in the world went head to head. And one of them was considered the quote unquote Michael Jackson of our time. And he got his style of music and where he was taking music and where artists like him were taking music, has been dismantled, and it's been proven by the numbers. It's been proven by who's selling, who's not. We had the conversation about Young Thug and some of the other artists who are kind of that ilk and have actually backed that type of music. How there's audio of them talking about, man, the game been messed up since then. And I think this is a perfect time for an artist like J. Cole. And it was a perfect time for artists like Wale to come out, right? Wale let the smoke clear, and music that Wale makes, people want to hear. Also, socially, where we are, we want, people always talk about like the DMXing of the game years ago, right? Where we've got a little too far with the shiny suits and blah, 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 blah. DMX came out with all the grimy shit. And 50 Cent kind of did something similar after that, right? The music always has to get reset, and we're in a reset. GNX was one of the first things to do it. The Battle did it, the GNX, then Tyler, then Clips, then Wale. It was like a clear, this is what people are in the mood to hear right now. Cole is, to me, besides GNX and Kendrick, right? Cole, to me, is the biggest and best version of all of that. Biggest and best version of what hip hop, what people want to hear, and what people have the temperament for in hip hop right now, which is introspective, still dope, and shifting. So he has an opportunity to really shift what music is going to sound like. I wonder if he's up to the task. I wonder if he's up to the task. I believe he is, because I believe in him. But I'm very curious to see. I think he's very strategic. I think he put this out now. We've been hearing about the fall off even before the battle happened, people were thinking the fall off was going to drop even before like that, right? Some people think the fall off didn't drop because of all of the nastiness that was going on. I do believe he waited for the right time to be able to put out an album, not because he's scared of Kendrick, but he wanted to put out an album with there would be no distractions, so you can hear what this man has to say. And I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Let's go,
I think all of those elements make for both the anticipation and all those things, and the success of all of these older acts in the game. Kind of something that Clarence was talking about when we had the conversation about our 25, and he was talking about how I guess you can consider it last year's, because we're talking about 25 and all that, but the run out, the rollout that all of these artists received, it does make for great anticipation. And like you were saying, Adam, it set the palette differently. It took it away from the fact that everybody just wants to mindlessly party, because everyone doesn't want to just mindlessly party, and it doesn't and you take away from the fact that we still all enjoy music. Like no one is trying to say that people shouldn't consume whatever it is that they would like, but that is not the overall for everyone. We don't all just want to listen to dumb shit.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a place for it.
Yeah,
there's a place in a role for it, but not.
Oh, I love that Metro album. I love that Metro album.
I want it all.
Yeah, okay. Take me to that. Listen,
and I still love BBL Drizzy.
Hey, BBL Drizzy. BBO Drizzy is one of the funniest ever
BBO
happened, bro.
Drizzy will get the crowd going.
Hey,
Come on
okay.
now. Come on now.
Before we transition to Bruno, when we talked about Aiden Ross, which, by the way, you will get that conversation. We're going to put that out on YouTube. We had some issues with that one, so we had to take it out. But when we talked about Aiden Ross, we did not get to mention the actual Doshi song. Okay, that Aiden Ross was responding to. We didn't even really talk about it at all. The song, to me, represents what I think hip hop should and will sound like. It's a bop, straight. But there's substance to it. It's simple. This isn't like groundbreaking shit. It's when Paul says we don't want to mindlessly party, the key word is mindlessly. Okay? No, I shouldn't even say we don't want to. Sometimes we do, but it can't be it. Be all.
Yes.
And even with that Doshi song, it's a bop. It's got like the clips, drum lines to it. It's a bop. It's Doshi. Doshi to me is one of the perfect artists to like lead hip hop to where it's going to go. You know what I mean? Because she's fun, but she also has substance when she wants to. And so I think that's going to be a good thing. And I just wanted to mention that because she's dropping this year too. There's going to be a lot of cool movies and a lot of cool.
I agree.
Speaking of another artist is dropping, Bruno Mars is dropping. Bruno Mars dropped a single. Nargis, I want to start with you because I know you wanted to talk about this. What's your thoughts about Bruno and his new work? I'm so excited.
So happy. I'm so excited. So I was listening to that single all yesterday at work, just like acting like I was skating.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Right.
Because I've heard a lot of commentary about how like we keep buying the same album, we keep hearing the same songs and so what, right? Chris Brown has made a whole career off of playing the same song.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
There's an expectation because if Bruno, like, that's his brand, right? It's like that whole band funk James Brown-esque type, but then he pivoted to the Silk Sonic, so now he's like a croon. That's his sound, and it has a place in the spectrum of music. I don't know, like, the politics around him dropping this album. I don't know if he's going to be able to financially profit from this album, but I'm just...
he owe the people.
That man owes a whole city.
Apparently
that man owes a municipality a grip, right?
Yeah.
So that might be what, the motivation for this album is.
I
don't know.
Yeah.
I am just happy as a fan to see that he was able to create a product that I can consume and listen to. I don't go, like, my whole tone is different from when we were just talking about J.Cole, right? I'm not looking to Bruno to hear no message.
No.
To talk about his lived experience, what he's going through. If he is, he's going to make a joke out of it and keep it moving and do this little two-step and maybe have a ballad or two.
Right.
And that's fine because he's an amazing artist who's good at what he does in the lane that he stays in. I don't view him as like this, and I don't want it to sound like I'm minimizing him, but he's not just like this experimental, adventurous guy. It's like, this is what I can do. I can croon. I can dance.
Yeah.
This is my fan base, and I'm going to give my fan base what they want from me, and it's going to be good. It's going to be a bop. It's fine. So I'm just ready to have Bruno Mars back in my life because I just feel like it's been a long time.
All right. You want to go, Paul? I can.
Yeah. I'll say this. Yeah, Bruno Mars isn't Stevie Wonder. He isn't John Legend. You understand what I'm saying? Like we when even say it again.
Nothing. I'm just being
Anderson .Paak could be.
I don't like John Legend. Yeah, Anderson .Paak's bad. I'm with you. Yeah, but your example is your example. But go ahead.
No. What I'm saying is like they're still like he puts like things into his music to like have points behind them. I think that Bruno Mars, for one, I hope this album does tremendously well. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
tremendously well, because my man,
I think he needs a windfall somewhere.
My man has Michael Jordan syndrome. Like, so you know, and
Man.
I heard my man is into them people darn near 90 large. So I hope that
Yeah,
I
man.
hope that he absolutely kills with this album. You know what I'm
So he can
saying?
break even.
But yes, at his least. At his least. You know what I'm saying? And I have to do you know, like 15 years of residency for them people. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, but taking
Right.
all that aside and the joke and laughter aside, I think that we are definitely ready to consume like music that makes you happy. Like you said, on the opposite end, like I look to J. Cole to be introspective. I
Mhm.
look to him to go, well, hold on, man. Let me rewind that a little bit. Like, did I just get
Mhm.
what I was thinking I was supposed to get out of that? Bruno Mars he's carved this lane from the very beginning. It's not like there's something that like any type of mass has been over our face. And I'm not even saying that like his music is mindless. It's just it does what it does. It makes you party. It makes you
He
feel
makes
good.
you happy.
It makes you love. Like
Yeah.
my parents saw him in Vegas, and my mother was overtly excited. You know what I'm saying? Like overtly excited. And anytime that they you know have a chance to go back, she always looks up to see if he'll be performing. You know what I'm saying? So like
Oh, I can imagine.
yeah, I mean, had a blast. Had an absolute blast. Told me about it and how they got the tickets and how they you know loved it because like you said, he bridges so many gaps. He bridges the gap from James Brown to you know all of these
Mhm.
entertainers of the past that incorporate dancing
Yep, he's an
and
entertainer.
movement. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like a flat out and you can see all of his influence. You can clearly see that his influences are you know, the James Browns, the Michael Jacksons, the you know,
Mhm.
you can clearly see it, and then you can
Jackie
also see that
Wilson.
he has enough range to do
Mhm.
something like with Anderson .Paak and create Silk Sonic and like and do those things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm, you know, very as you know, as excited as I was about the J.Cole album, I'm very excited to see Bruno Mars back in his lane, getting to making people happy and make them dance and make them love more, but also getting to his bread and you know, getting his his situation decent for himself and his family. I'm very excited for
Yeah.
that too.
Yo, yeah, you know what? Those are great points. I was fully prepared to say something negative about Bruno, but now I will not.
What was you gonna say negative?
Nah. You can't lead with that. You can't lead with that and
Nah, y'all
leave it alone.
legit changed my mind. Like seriously, you know, in all seriousness, y'all legit changed my mind. I was fully
Mm,
prepared to talk about how his old hat and how I felt like he was kind of innovative musically, not lyrically, but musically. The thing about that album with man, what was the album before the Silk Sonic album? The big album he did. I can't remember the name of the joint, right? The big album. Um, I thought it took you through a journey in R&B. It had like kind of like New Jack Swing songs on it, had like classic 80. It almost took you like through like different decades of R&B. The lyrics weren't profound. They were all about, you know, whining and dining and
Come on,
spending
24
money on a woman.
karat or the
24 karat.
unorthodox jukebox? 24 karat.
24 karat, right?
Okay.
24 karat. And even if you look at unorthodox jukebox and the ones before, he's like very poppy. And then he had found like this R&B, old school R&B bag. And
With the
but what I
24
thought about,
karat.
yeah, but what I thought about 24 karat is like you had songs of like 60s, 70s,
right,
80s, and 90s. Like Finesse is like 90s, right? I'm not gonna go through every song. So I thought at the time that, oh man, you know, yeah, this is like a silly pop album, but it's like a novelty album, and it's kind of brilliant because whoever produced it has taken you through a journey of like R&B. And then Silk
right,
Sonic was like we like a classic like 70s, you know, leave the door open, and you know, this is like a 70s like funk and R&B band.
right.
And so I kind of was giving Bruno
Chess
a
hit
lot of
on
credit.
chains.
Right. I was kind of giving Bruno a lot of credit that maybe he wasn't even really looking for, honestly. Maybe I was just fundamentally misunderstanding what I was hearing, or maybe I was just digesting the art and taking in the art and just getting what I needed to get from it. Either way, I was fully prepared to say I thought that he would try something new because I felt like he was on that trajectory. But I mean this, you all made excellent points, okay? While my camera was messed up and I couldn't talk, I was able to just listen, okay? And you all did. You made great points, and it's true. It's the same point I was making about films a couple of episodes back, P. When I said all that thing, like I stopped following this you probably didn't hear this narrative, but
Right.
I stopped following kind of like geek culture content creator or podcaster that I really, really like, because they were like shitting on Avengers Doomsday off of like these little teasers. For anybody that follows the geek world like me, like they've been releasing like different teasers for Avengers. It doesn't even come out until December 18th, right? They're just like little mini teasers. And they don't tell you nothing about the story. They're just cool little teasers. One is an X-Men one is a Fantastic Four and the Wakandans. Another one is just Thor praying. Another one is just Captain America holding his baby. It's just like, oh, it's just cool
What's
shit.
What's gonna happen?
Right. And it's just like, and this dude was just like, Marvel can do better by us. They're bringing back Captain America and it doesn't Anthony Mackie. And I'm like, you haven't even seen the movie. You don't. And so instead of getting all outraged about it, I just unfollowed because I was like, you do this a lot in your content. Rage bait is what I was talking about. Why I bring that up in this is to say, I made this whole speech about like, it's going to be a lot of tough things going on. We're about to talk about some tough stuff in the next segment. We need Bruno Mars. We need Avengers. We need Spider-Man Brand New Day. We need the new Spielberg movie. We need the fun. We need it because we're going to have to really. We need the palate cleanser. See, this is why Narc is on, because she got the words, man. She got the words. Don't be having words.
You got the vocab.
You got that vocab. You be having the big word. Don't ignore the word.
That's big word.
Yeah. That's why I make fun of Paul. By the way, I make fun of Paul out of jealousy because he strings together a sentence, and I just would have said, so the niggas ain't never seen the movie. What do you think about that? So no, Bruno Mars, I'm down with it, man. I'm down with it because it's fun. And I agree with you too. Like you said it, man. It's at the end of the day, we just need some fun music to bop to. And Bruno is always good for that.
So kudos to him.
He's always a good time. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So,
and he's not dangerous. And his music isn't dangerous.
It's just fun.
It's universal.
Sonic shit was just fun, bro. So y'all right. Like I'm just gonna say my whole thought process changed as y'all were talking. Real talk. Like I'm on y'all side. Word up. All right. Let's talk about the latest that's going on in Minnesota and a few other things after this break. All right. Just a follow-up to our conversation about what was going on in Minnesota and the murder that took place there by ICE agents. Protests have been going on. I'm trying to choose my words carefully, because the protests that are going on there, I commend the people of Minneapolis and Minnesota because they are conducting the perfect protests. They are aggressive. They are very clear in their intentions, but there's no violence. Okay. The only violence that's happening is ICE agents attacking them.
Right.
There have been shootings. There have been pepper sprays. There was a dude walking around, was driving around and said one of the ICE agents shot a pepper spray cannon into his car. His kids was in the car. He just was driving around. There's videos of ICE agents running up on people that are trying to film during the protest and quite literally saying, haven't y'all learned y'all lesson yet?
Literally said that.
Okay.
Literally said
saying,
that.
Okay. Everything is against them. The federal government is against them. Parts of their local government is against them, or maybe not against them necessarily, but being defeated by the federal government. Several prosecutors within the state's attorney's office had to resign because they're being pressured. The vice president, the director of Homeland Security, Stephen Miller, have all come out and said that and told ICE agents that you are immune to anything you do is right.
You good.
And now the latest of news is that the president of the United States has said that he's thinking about invoking the Insurrection Act in Minnesota, which basically would mean deploying actual military to Minneapolis, actual, not National Guard, actual military. The Insurrection Act is pretty self-explanatory. It is to prevent insurrection, to prevent army building. This basically to stop another civil war. There was a army being formed within the states, a militia or army strong enough that the president would have to say, "Oh man, we've got to squash this. We have to stop insurrection." He has the ability to implement the Insurrection Act, and for what I understand, and I'd like to bring somebody on that can really. I reached out to an attorney. Hopefully, she'll respond back and we can get her on the show. She's a civil rights attorney. Could it help us understand some of the legalities of this? But what I understand is that when it comes to the Insurrection Act, the president has final say on that. The courts can't really interfere as much as you would like. And it's based on a law that was a judgment that was passed by the Supreme Court in the 1800s. Because again, they were trying to prevent another civil war. They didn't want the South to rise again. You see what I'm trying to say? So, this is obviously all bad. We don't have to bat this ball around too much. We don't have to have a giant debate about whether this is bad or not. I think we all agree that this is not good. One thing I would say is to anyone listening, if you're in Minnesota and you happen to listen to this podcast, stay strong, stay out there, keep doing what you're doing, get up on your rights. There's a lot of information out there at this point about what you can and cannot do. Most of the things you can do and most of the things ICE agents actually cannot do. And I think a lot of you know that. If you're anyone listening anywhere else but Minneapolis or Minnesota, and obviously you cannot fly to Minnesota, drive to Minnesota to participate in protests and whatever, the best thing you can do right now is remain informed. A lot of misinformation going up there. One big piece of misinformation. And fear is such a powerful tool. One giant piece of misinformation that I'm seeing a lot of people say online is that from the Insurrection Act will come martial law, which could be true in Minneapolis, okay, or in Minnesota. That martial law could be implemented there. But what they cannot do, and you cannot even allow yourself to pretend like they can do, or trick yourself into believing they can do, they cannot stop the midterm elections. I'll say it again. By law, they cannot stop the midterm elections. If you allow yourself to believe that, then you're giving them the power to actually do it. You understand what I'm saying? They can't legally do it. So even in Minnesota, if there's some type of, let's just say things go on until November, which God, I hope it doesn't, right? You still have the rights to go to the polling place.
Yes.
You just need to understand that it might be hard to get into your polling place because they want you to believe that they can stop it, okay? They cannot stop you from voting. Do not allow them to make you believe that they can stop you from voting, okay? Don't do it. Don't believe it. They can't do it, all right? So that's just my really quick, really brief update on what's going on in Minnesota since we talked about it last week. People are still holding on strong, and I hope they continue to go on strong. But right now, man, it's a us versus them thing, and it's pretty scary. Pretty scary, P.
It's a crazy thing to think that the person responsible for one of the largest insurrections is the person that will be enacting such rules. It really just speaks to the climate that we're in now, and how one of the most important things is to remain as vigilant as possible and as informed as possible, because it like kind of amongst this landscape and this journey that we're all facing together, they're attempting to make up rules as they go. They're attempting to do that, right? The more that we know that there are, like Adam was already talking about, there's already things that are cemented into place to whereas this is the way that this structure is supposed to go. So for everyone, while we're all experiencing this journey, don't allow some of these bad actors and this horrible rhetoric to knock you off of the square of knowing what your job needs to be. You understand? Even as exhausting as all these conversations, like we don't want to talk about this stuff all the time in all truth and honesty. To the audience,
No.
just to let you know, it's not like we contemplate these conversations. We have pre-production on these conversations on which angle we're going to go after. And the reason that we try to be multi-topic is just to give levity to these things, because we don't like, but we can't also be irresponsible, because this is real life.
Right.
These things are, we witnessed a person getting murdered. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we witnessed it. We're watching other people get shot. Maybe not all of them getting murdered. We've also listened to, like Adam said, an ICE agent look at people and told them, what haven't you learned? Like essentially saying, bro, I can pop you, and it's gonna be straight.
Real pop. You ain't figured that out yet?
Like I can pop you and be straight, and nothing is gonna happen to me. What don't you understand about that? Which is immensely scary. Because like we're not, and also let me throw this in there too, Adam. I watched a young lady do kind of a expose on what it took to be an ICE agent. I'm talking about, she went through the whole process just to see what would happen. Went through the whole
she's
process.
a reporter. She's a
went through
journalist.
her the mental eval that was looked over. She even knew that she was going to fail her drug test. She knew that. She already knew that.
Yeah.
How that was swept under the rug. How like even all the things, like I said, the immense mental thing that they say they go through. It's not, like I said, this young lady went through and showed how far and how easy it is to become an agent without, and we talked about this last time, without an incredible amount of training. Like it's not true. Like that I mean, you know, maybe in certain cases they do a very well vetting process, and all this training is there. But I just witnessed this young lady go through and expose how easy it was for her to be and get multiple offers after failing after the psychological eval not being very important and failing the drug test, and still got an offer.
Yeah. Can I add to that real quick? Because that's important to point out. This is a journalist who's a fairly popular journalist on the left. So that eliminates the background check right there. She said that she took it, she went in there, she did all the stuff. She smokes weed on the regular. Okay. She said that the drug test didn't matter. She said they sent her the psych eval and background check. She did not do it. Okay. She said she got curious and checked the website in a couple of days later just to see, and they had her listed as an ICE agent
already.
So she went in for the follow-up, and the dude told her, hey, look, you're going to have to work at the desk for a few. We're not going to give you a gun. And she was like, oh, yeah, no, that's cool. I got background in research or something like this, that, and another. He was like, nah, but I only had to really tell you that. We want all our agents out on the street.
On that street.
So it's super important to give those details, because to our point last week, and we had a little bit of a debate about it, it's proven that these people should not be on the streets. Go ahead, Pete, finish your point.
No, I mean, like that was pretty much buttoning it up. Like there has been, aside from what we directly see in front of our face, aside from what this administration is just making people do, just people. You understand what I'm saying? Like I mean, we've already seen that they've given full authority to these agents, but this is like, if it causes just regular people to have misunderstanding and just regular people to feel like they can just go up and question people that they deem that look suspicious to them. And then you have an actual agency that's empowered. And on top of that, we've already, like, there's already been people that let you know, hey, listen, this isn't a very strenuous vetting process. Like this really isn't. You know what I'm saying? So this is a very dangerous thing. Like, regular police officers go through a lot, right? And obviously split decisions can be made and all those things. And people at the end of the day are still just human beings. But understand what's happening. When you put all of these things together, when you put the rage, when you put fear on both sides, when you put that into people's minds and hearts, and then you give both these self-same people guns and full authority to do whatever, and you've already let everyone else know they can do whatever to you, and we're going to rock, and we've already set systems in place to where they're going to get away with it, and both our president, vice president, and all our administration rocks with this. This is
Yeah.
very extremely dangerous. So the only thing that we can continually say is to continually educate yourself and learn as much as you can, because our lives truly depend on it. And that's not even a joke. And I'm not even saying that to sound sensational. It's just the truth of what's happening right now.
One last thing I want to say real quick. The reason why I even bring up that how the protests look in Minnesota was not to go, y'all being real good. Nobody's bothering anybody. That's not my point. My point is that threatening the Insurrection Act, threatening having ICE agents threaten people, provoke people means that they want you to fight back, means that they want things to pop off, means that they want the excuse to say, you know what, we had to send the military here to calm this down. It sends a message to everyone and lets everyone know that you have the right to protest. If you disagree with me, I can do this to you. And I want to scare you enough to not make change. And again, I want to stress before we go to the second piece of this conversation, that change is right there. Not massive change. Some of these things are going to take years to undo. Okay. But the immediate change and the stopping of the bleeding is right there. And they know it. They know it. They know it. People that are winning don't act like this. People that are winning show confidence. People that are losing panic. Okay. And if you listen and pay attention, there's a lot of panic going on. And again, the last thing I will say before we transition is the man told you straight that I might, if I have time, I'll run the clip. If not, I'll put it on our social. He out his mouth said, if I lose the midterm elections, they will impeach me. Okay. So keep that in mind. Stay strong out there. Keep doing your thing. There's another angle of this that Nargis brought up that I thought was very, very interesting. And I kind of want her to just kind of give her thoughts on it. The World Cup is coming up. Next year, there's a NFL draft right on the mall in Washington, D.C., and the Olympics are coming fairly soon. All of these will be in the United States of America. We were thinking about, and Nargis brought up the idea of, obviously, these events is specific to World Cup and the Olympics, not so much the NFL draft, where people from all over the world come to the United States to enjoy these sporting events. With our immigration policy and the way that we're absolutely just going hard on immigrants on national television, could this impact visitation to the United States? And Nargis, you mentioned during our pre-production meeting, could it even be somewhat of a protest against the United States for the World Cup and for the Olympics?
Yeah. So, it's a lot of online noise and dialogue. And living in Atlanta, everyone is like, World Cup ready. The World Cup is coming. The world is coming to Atlanta. It's a lot of excitement around it. But then when you go online, it's like, oh, I'm not, especially coming on the heels of the murder that happened in Minnesota. And revoking, I think the Somalians' sanctuary status. And now you're giving, now you're threatening to take funding away from states who have sanctuary cities within them. And just all of this dangerous language as it relates to how you plan on treating immigrants.
Right.
Those who were looking to come to this country for leisure, to enjoy the world sport, right, in our free country. It's like, I'm not about to give you this money. Yeah. Even though he created a whole FIFA visa, to fast track the process. If you're coming to the United States for the World Cup, you can fast track the process. But a lot of people are like, we see what's happening. Will we even be able to get in? Will we be able to leave? How will we be able to leave? What terms are we going to leave once all the fun and games are done? The country is so unstable. that I think the potential guests are nervous about how they'll be treated and what their experience is going to be, because to a certain point, it's out of Los Angeles' control. It's out of New York's control. It's out of Atlanta's control if it becomes a federal order of some sort, right? You have to fall in line unless, we want the revolution to come. So, that was just something I was thinking. And then, the Olympics are coming in 2028 in LA.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So many Mexicans live in LA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So many, these are densely, these are dense melting pot cities.
Right.
Either first 5-10 generations of immigrant households, right?
Right.
So I'm just interested to see, because you want, kind of like what we were talking about with like the whole music stuff. It's like you want to find ways to bring levity to a scary situation.
Yes.
However, I've heard comparisons to when the Olympics was hosted in Germany, during, what was that, World War II?
Yeah.
And the argument of going versus not going, and trying to make a comparison here with what President Trump is doing. So obviously it's not a clear apples to apples comparison, but I understand why the conversation is being brought up, because the potential. I mean, if we're talking about a list of like national villains, like I think Hitler and Trump can fall on the same list, to a certain, it's not too far off. Like if there's a top 10, I think if there's a top 100 Billboard chart, like I think they would both share that chart. So, I was just, I posed it because I don't know the impact on the other side of the free world no longer appearing to be free by outsiders. Right? What people in Minneapolis and in some cases in DC, in all of these occupied areas, we're getting a taste of what our global neighbors have experienced their whole lives, living under dictatorships.
Right.
And living in a society that determines how they can and can't move, what stores they can and can't go in, what streets they can and can't walk down, without very real fear of disappearing and not coming home. We haven't had to live like that.
Right.
So now that we do, and we're like, oh no, it's like as a citizen, we know American hasn't been great.
Yeah.
But the whole identity that we've kind of had in the back of our mind is literally being it's being dismantled.
Yes.
And the world is watching.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right? So that pedestal, that pedestal of land of the free, home of the brave, we don't have it. We don't have that status right now with the current administration. And that impacts, we knew this when it came to the tariffs, but that impacts our tourism.
Right. Exactly.
Why would I want to go somewhere that's worse than the situation I got over here? What am I going to go over there for? What y'all got going on over there?
Right.
Y'all got agents? Man.
Yeah.
I got to see people walk down with AKs down my street every day. I ain't trying to spend money on a ticket to go spend money to see the same thing that I got to deal with here.
Right.
I watch it on TV.
No, yes. I one last thing I just wanted to say before we move on, is I did find an article. This is on Sports Bible. I'm not really familiar with this publication, but the headline is UK politicians call on FIFA to remove United States as World Cup host nation. And I thought that was interesting. And I saw a couple of just headlines. This is a quick Google search of people talking about protesting the World Cup. Should people go to the World Cup? So this is an interesting spot to be in. And just to follow up on what Nargis was saying, even with the Insurrection Act, it hasn't really been used since the Civil Rights era, right? So we're talking about sometimes when we talk about where this thing can go, I think the examples are too big and too scary for people, and it causes them not to take it serious, right? So when we start, talking about Nazi Germany or, some other like very like Russia or some like really crazy extreme regime, I think what will help people understand this better is that we're gone back 50, 60 years. We're going back 60 years. We're going back 70 years where, internment camps was a thing, or where black people where segregation was a thing, right? Where there were marshals or officers controlling the streets, fucking with black people or fucking with Jewish people or fucking with minorities. You know what I mean? We're getting there again, if not being there already. And that's just important to know. So again, we're going to talk about these things almost every week, man. We're going to have to continue to remind you of what's going on, because you do have an opportunity not to turn the Titanic around. Again, some of this shit going to take years. Like the Kennedy Center probably won't get renamed right away. Things like that, right? But what you can do is stop the bleeding. You can put people in there that aren't perfect people. They're going to have their own problems and their own shit you don't like, okay? But people in there that will at least go, no. Or there needs to be a hearing about this. And if there is no hearing about this, people getting fired. You have the right to impeach. You have the right to do that. And people that will actually vote on impeachment, and people that will actually prosecute people. So you had that opportunity in November, and we need to get the foot on the gas. All right,
100%.
And I just want to add a
Absolutely.
very slight, like,
Sure.
I feel like I've probably mentioned this on the podcast before, but if you have not read any of the works by Mama Octavia Butler, who is the godmother of Afrofuturism and science fiction, please go read Parable of the Sower and Parable of the Talents. Because this was a book that was written in 1993 and 1998 that is speaking to a dystopian America in 2025 that has a dictatorial leader whose slogan is "Make America Great Again," who has Christian fundamentalists who he calls his crusaders, who are going out doing the work of God and literally raping and pillaging across the country. Right. When I say like prophetic work. And I'm not saying like it's like this how to like help you cope or anything, but it just the fact that the potential is always there, and we're just now seeing the manifestation of potential that has always been within this country to execute. Right. I think it just helps you shift your mindset and where you need to look to for help, where help really exists, versus where you think help should be, and how you need to prepare and arm and guard yourself accordingly.
And I'll throw one
That's such a good
just
point.
one more thing to think about also, much to the chagrin of what these people would like for you to think. Everyone like both of you are already talking about, we are witnessing the fall of the ideology of America, right? And what I would say to that is everyone across the globe isn't rocking with that. So there's danger in the fact that who knows, within all of the turmoil that's about to happen with a lot of people being imported, and who knows how many people that don't truthfully rock with this administration will want to demonstrate or do something at these self-same events. You understand what I'm saying? Like the climate that's been created makes danger all the way across the board for people that don't want to come here and deal with what they're seeing, but also who knows how many people from other sectors are upset about that and are conjuring up plans to do something about that. You understand what I'm saying? Like all of this is dangerous.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, thanks for leaving on a high
Stay
note,
safe,
right?
everybody.
Right.
Right.
Stay safe.
Right.
Stay safe,
All right.
everybody.
All right, so we're going to end the show on a positive note, I think. And talk about Lil Casanat real fast, just real fast.
Lil Cat.
Lil Casanat, right?
Lil Cat.
extremely famous streamer, the face of streaming, I would think. Whenever people bring up both what they like about streaming and what they really hate about streaming, is usually Kai Cenat, right? Fair or unfair, right? They're much worse streamers than Kai Cenat. Nick Fuentes,
Mhm.
Aiden Ross, we name them all the time, right? Nick Fuentes is an actual Nazi. And people that are just like, actively destroying the country and our culture, right? Casanat was never that, but Casanat did represent something that a lot of adults, anybody over 30 really, or 25, found problematic, which is just like the silliness of streaming and the unseriousness of streaming. And it really showed his head during the election last year when he let it be known that Kamala Harris wanted to come on his show. And he made a big thing about how, like, I don't do politicians. And showed he didn't really understand his power because his comrades, Aiden and people like that, were gladly having on Donald Trump, right? And just some of the stuff that would happen on the Casanat shit would just be silly, we don't got to get all into it. Casanat has been very vocal about his mental health recently, and he had been off air for a while. Well, he released a video like maybe 3 or 4 days ago, not that long ago, maybe like 2 days ago, and it was titled "I Quit." And he basically talked about how, he's taking a step back from streaming. So we were talking about this before we got on air. Paul kept asking, did he quit? Did he actually quit? I'm not sure if he's saying he's never going to stream again, but you should not expect the Casanat stream anytime soon. He wants to focus on his mental health, his physical health, and he wants to focus on a fashion line that he has announced. That's whatever on that. What I thought was cool about this is that he started another channel. I forget the name of it. Kai Creates or something like that. And what he's doing on there is showing you like his daily exercise routine, and he's reading a book daily.
Yeah.
And you're watching him actually learn. Like it's really interesting. It's like watching, he's not much older than my 11-year-old son, but like watching like my 11-year-old son like read a book and he's doing cool things. He's reading a book and he has like a dictionary next to him. So if he doesn't understand the word, he goes and he looks that word up. And I think it's really, really cool. And I'll tell you why real fast. Because as much as we talk about how young people being influenced, our whole last episode with Smooth, we talked about the show Adolescence, and we talked about male loneliness and all of this stuff. Well, this is a way that it can be impacted, probably way more impactful than a 43-year-old and a 48-year-old, right? And a 38-year-old, talking about Smooth, could really attack this, right? When Kai is 24, I think, when a 24-year-old who has all of the attention of young people, Casanat is the streamer, is taking a step back and saying, hey, I got this other channel. And this ain't no respectability politics. This isn't taking off the Nike tech suit and wearing a quarter zip and drinking a matcha. It's not that, okay? It's just saying, yo, here's something else that's cool too. I'm still Casanat, okay? But here's something I'm getting into. Maybe you'll enjoy this too. So it's good for him to take that step back, just as an example, to say, like, sometimes you just got to take a step back and take care of yourself. I was losing myself in this, right? But it's also a good example, I think, not in the traditional sense of respectability politics and go read books instead of play video games. It's not that, but where we see kids are going, and there's many conversations we've had about streamers having a negative impact, and Kai contributed. He wasn't the worst of them, but Kai would have, white boys on there using the N-word. I mean, oh, no, he good. Or just like buffoonery and just like wild shit, or some rapper that needs to, promote themselves. I mean, I never forget when he had Christian Rock and Blueface on there, and Christian Rock trashed his studio. You got this toxic ass couple on there normalizing them. Okay, and her domestic abuse against him and his absolute domestic abuse against her, taking a step back and saying, hey, let's try this too. I think it's a really good thing, and I thought it was a very positive thing to segment to end the show. It's not a full segment, just a positive thing to end the show out with. People are starting to change, and I love it, man. Any thoughts on that?
Shout out. I mean, I didn't know. I'm not a Twitch girly, but I started hearing about I want to say started hearing about Kai maybe 2 years ago or so, and I heard how young he was, and I was like, okay, that's not entertainment for me,
right?
But he's been doing this since he was a child. He was 16, right? So I think it's very admirable because we can only assume what that feels like, like elder millennials are in that space where it's like, there's a component of our lives that will forever be private because of where we were in the evolution of technology, right?
Right.
So the way our lives were exposed to the world has been segmented as technology evolves. This generation that he's part of and the generations after, our kids' generations, right?
Yeah.
Your whole life is lived
Yeah.
out. It is public facing. You have to work really hard to not be public facing.
Yeah.
And we do not understand, we cannot empathize with the mental toll that takes. We can just, assume because of the little bit that we have and what it does to us. So I think it's very admirable. I think that speaks to who he has on his team.
Yeah.
His mama might have been like, son, his dad might have been like, son, we don't know. But I think when you do have someone who's like, I can make all this money and I can just do the thing and blah, blah, blah. Like my life is what makes money.
And I'm like the king of young people. I'm like the king.
Right. I'm King Bob.
Yeah. Real talk. I don't know how many times I said, Carson, that's it. Not so speed said.
I am King Bob and I am ruling the playground of the internet. Right?
I think these go ahead, Nurse.
That does something to you. No, I'm just saying, like, if you just like biologically, you're already like developing and your brain is evolving and all this other stuff. And then now you have this not even pseudo celebrity, this very real celebrity that is not a celebrity that we've ever. But this is what I'm saying. This is a celebrity type that we have never seen before.
Yeah,
I think
we've never experienced a influencer celebrity ever, and what that looks like. So I think it's very admirable that he's being vocal about it. He's not just like shutting it up. He's like, okay, let me still see how I can use this platform because I still live out loud. Like, I think that's really great, the angle that he's taken, and I pray that he gets to whatever leveled up evolution he gets, and I pray that this is a good example to the young folk that sometimes you need to just take a break and read a book.
Like these guys, Castanet, iShowSpeed, they are the literal case study right now. Like, because we're talking, think about the development of Twitch and all those things that not only gave a 24-hour platform to people, but gave them big money. And we already know America the world is a capitalist place. You understand what I'm saying? So when you incorporate fame, infamy, whatever it be, and on top of that, the fact that you can make a whole lot of money in this stuff, it's his evolution. And big ups to my man iShowSpeed for his scope and the Africa tour that he's doing and all the things that he's doing to help reshape young minds. But per both of you guys' point, these guys are the case study. They are 20 through 25 years old. You understand what I'm saying? And they are the people that are living their lives in a 24-hour stream. And like you said, just being themselves. And I'm not going to say that streaming and all those things isn't a talent, but I think that like it's a current newfound talent. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's like and there are so many people that want that. So many young kids, like Adam was saying. For how old is Makai?
11.
11.
Okay. So for his 11-year-old son, these guys are all and Twitch is a very big thing to them. To my 8-year-old nephew, like I said, I look at the things that he consumes. So watching someone go through this evolution is very important. It's very, and even whether people might call them corny, whether people might say whatever it is they may say about it, it is very important to even for him to suggest of reading a book to this younger audience that is going to continually consume what he has going on. You understand what I'm saying? Like we all alluded to, these guys are the first of their kind. I'm not saying that streaming hasn't been done. We were streaming back in the day. We were streaming, but not to this magnitude. There wasn't nobody handing us millions of dollars when we were streaming or inviting us to the Oscars.
Nor did we have millions of Right.
or nor do we have,
Right.
Well, the
you know,
access wasn't the same.
millions of
Yeah.
followers and all of those things. So this is what he is doing
Yeah.
is very important. Even speaking on the mental aspect of it and saying, you know what, because who knows how, like I said, I look at what happens to grown adults via the internet. I look at, we've talked about this before. I look at grown adults smash eggs on their children's face for a Facebook challenge. I look at at older women, doing provocative dances with their younger daughters for Facebook challenges. And they're grown, and supposedly their minds have fully developed, and their frontal lobe is fully, is supposed to be where it's supposed to be. So if it can have that much of an impact on what's supposed to be grown people, I can only imagine the things that are happening for kids. So big up to him, and let's just keep on being vigilant in this space.
One last point, really quick. As I was talking about, thought about one somewhat serious thing and one thing that made me laugh. Y'all mentioned these 24, he's 25, the whole cerebral cortex thing, and your brain development, all that. It's this very funny skit. I wish I could remember who, I can't remember who did it, but it was basically a bunch of dudes who were about to turn 25, right? And the one dude was about to eat like 6-day-old pizza and shit, right? And then it's like his birthday, it's like, seconds away, he's about to eat it. It's like, he was like, you should not eat this. It will get you sick. You would, you know what I'm saying? The one dude's playing around with like lighter fluid and shit. And then it's like, you should not eat it. You should not do this. You're going to set this on fire. You're going
right.
It's like, these are not grown people. Yeah, it's like you're not an adult, right?
No.
And so, and then the more serious one I want to make is, and I don't know this is to be true. I'm making a hell of an assumption, but I don't watch Casanat, but I am chronically online, so I see his clips a lot, right? And I remember he had John Cena on the show, and I remember it stood out because John Cena always wears like these pinstripe suits and shit. It's like, he trips me out because like the character of John Cena is like wearing jorts and and this, that, another. But he's like, when he's not John Cena the wrestler, he's very intentional about being like, funny enough, like a very serious person. It's actually very wow because he's John Cena and all he does is play goofy people all the time, right? So he's on the Casanat stream with the suit on and shit, and he's around all these young dudes, and he was like holding court. And he was like telling them about life. He was like basically saying in life, you're going to get these opportunities. He's like being like, like he's talking to a bunch of kids. And I in hindsight, I remember it, but it stands out more. The look on Kai's face. Casanat was taking it all in. Like he was like, into it, like he was like, and then there was another stream where he had LeBron James on, and LeBron was holding court, and it was the same situation. All the little dudes sitting around LeBron, and I don't even remember what LeBron was saying, but he was basically giving some grown man advice and some final. I guess Kai at the end goes, just what advice you got for the, and again, the look on his face was like a young boy. Learning from learning from this a superhero. Think about it. For him, it's John Cena and LeBron James. That's like for me and you, Paul, if like Michael Jordan and Denzel Washington would just like, hey, I want to give you all of the information I have about life. We'd be like, okay, Mr. Jordan, okay. Funny enough, real quick, there's a clip of LeBron James floating around and Michael Jordan in like a basketball camp, and LeBron is like 17 years old, and LeBron asking Jordan about like what made him great, and it's a great video. It's a great video, especially knowing where they are now. You know what I mean? It's a great video. So anyway, man, shouts out to Casanat, man. And shouts out to all the young people. Hope you all get something from that, man. We old folks, we're rooting for y'all, man. 100%. We need y'all. We need y'all.
Yeah.
All right? Yeah. All right. All right, y'all. Appreciate everybody tuning in to the Friday show. Came out a little bit later today. We appreciate everybody holding it down and waiting with anticipation for this podcast to air.
100.
We love you. All right. We appreciate you all. Happy birthday, Nargis.
Happy birthday, Cuzzo.
Again, everybody say happy birthday. It begins. Some people going to be listening to this on your birthday. Again, we're not going to talk to you on air before your birthday, so we all want to say happy birthday
100%.
to you on air. And yes, the January birthdays, they have begun because Pop's already had his birthday. I think Nikki's birthday already might have passed too. I'm not sure. My cousin Winnie's birthday passed. My dad's birthday is on the 18th, so You
My
know,
sister's is on the 18th.
Yeah.
there we go. So it's on now. We on.
Paul's
It's
sister and
on.
my sister got the same birthday.
Wow.
Paul's sister and me
Yeah,
have the
you
same
all
birthday.
have the same birthday.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They're
Yeah,
both
yeah, right.
19.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
Too many
on
people
now.
I
We got
love
the
you
19th. We
immensely.
got the 22nd. Yeah. So just so the audience know, we got Paul's sister and Nargis on the 19th. We got me on the 22nd. We got my mom on the 23rd. No, I'm sorry. We got my father on the 18th, Paul's sister and Nargis on the 19th. We got me on the 22nd. We got my mom on the 23rd. We got Paul on the 24th.
You know,
Who am I missing? Is there anyone else? I don't think there's anyone
me
else.
personally,
after that.
shout
I
out
think
to
you closed it out.
shout out to my cousin Roselle. Her birthday was yesterday. Salute.
There we go. See, man, January is the shit.
January is
man, everybody think about it. Look, man, Capricornians. Yeah, we and Kanika's birthday. Leanne, look, Leanne's birthday. You remember Leanne? Leanne's birthday is the same day as mine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
We got a lot of B-Day.
Capricorn.
We out here. We out here, y'all. Capricorns, baby. Okay, Capricorns. Anyway, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Remember, if you want to follow us, please follow us on all social media platforms. MSR Tribe on Instagram, Mindstream Radio on Facebook, the MSR Pod on TikTok. If you're watching us on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Please do that for us, all right? Comment below. If you're listening to us on podcast platforms, remember to rate and review the show, comment on the show, and subscribe to the show. Oh, and share the show, all right? Appreciate everybody. Nargis, appreciate you, sis. We'll talk to you next week. All right.
Get my weekend started.
You know what I'm saying?
Get that weekend started. A whole weekend of doing nothing but a lot.
Right.
Right. I ain't doing nothing, just going ice skating, figure skating, roller skating, getting a pedicure, getting a massage,
getting a citation from the mayor.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Going to the Grand Canyon and then going bungee jumping and then doing this and then. That's all things I've been meaning to do.
You know what I'm saying?
That's all. Nothing. Anyway, enjoy it. Okay? Enjoy it. Yeah, man. I'm Adam Butler. That's Paul
Black
Span.
Man Span. Exiting the building.
Remember to be. There we go. Remember to be great. Free DC.
Elevate us.
We up out of here. Peace. Free the land. Peace.